Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tribunal of the Grid, where we talk about all things Power Rangers, including the actors that play them. My name is Brandon.
I am Lena.
And I'm Will.
And today we have a packed show for you babies. Today we have a lot going on. I'm going to tell you right now. So hold on to your seat, grab a snack, get yourself a drink, and, just go ahead and listen to our ramblings of what has recently happened this past week. I am pretty sure everybody knows we just came out of Hasbro PulseCon. So we are going to be talking about all of that, all that good Hasbro goodness, what we like and what we don't like. We're going to be talking about all of that. We're going to be talking about Izzy joining Legacy Wars. Yes. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about Dino Fury episodes 14 and 15 because Halloween is right around the corner. It is literally next weekend. So we are going to be doing our Halloween, a little bit of Halloween episode for you today, episode 14. And then we're going to also talk about episode 15 as well, which is the arrival of the Gold Ranger, our Southern Gold Ranger, because that mug got a voice on him. Let me tell you. So we're going to be talking about that. And we are also going to be talking about some more, queer adjacent news. But before we get to that, I just want to remind everybody, we are on Google Podcasts, we are on Apple Podcasts, we are on SoundCloud and YouTube, and we are on everywhere else that you listen to podcasts. So if you are not listening on YouTube or anything like that, please let us know. Continue to rate us, especially on Apple Podcasts, because that helps us out a lot. So definitely do that for us, and continue to leave comments and everything because we really do appreciate it. And we also love reading the comments on the show as well because we love talking to y'all about this stuff. We do have some comments from Brian Weaver on our SoundCloud, who left us a couple of comments basically saying, he said that episode 13 is his favorite besides episode 8. Agreed. I think I said that last week, episode 13 is my favorite. That is the Izzy coming out episode. Love that. He said that Void Knight's girl looks alien. Maybe she's from Zado's planet. Listen. I definitely agree. I think, I don't know if she's from Zado's planet, but I definitely do think that she's some sort of alien. I don't think she's human. Do y'all think she's human? I don't.
I mean, she could be human. She could be like Zedd. Remember how Zedd was frozen for so many years? Whatever it was.
So maybe she's from KO.
He was a humanoid alien.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't given it that much thought. I expected Void Knight to be an alien, so I guess I just imagined that his wife would be also.
I feel like Void Knight is not an alien. I feel like he's a human.
Well, now seeing him take his helmet off, so I don't know.
Well, we talked about this in the beginning, and we basically all agree that he was very much Mystic Force vibe, where we're gonna find out he's actually a whole ass human underneath.
Right.
I don't know why you're surprised. I'm not. When he took off his helmet, I was like, yeah, And then when he showed me his face, that was my bigger reaction because I'm like, who's this mug?
I'm trying to tell you, it was the hair for me. I saw
the hair and I was like, who's this mug? And where did he come from?
It's the hair for me. I'm like, your hair is perfect out of this helmet. Okay, all right.
He's kind of giving Daishi vibe too. The actor. The actor. Yeah, with facial hair. I don't know. I think what's his name? Skinner?
Beatty Skinner.
There you go.
Or Betty.
Very Beatty Skinner vibe with the facial hair. So I don't know.
Yeah.
For him being a human, that was not a surprise at all. It was definitely the facial hair that shook me. I was like, "Ooh!"
Right, the hair and the guy liner. I was like,
right?
"Ooh!"
I'm telling you, the hair itself He made a whole entire role. Like, hi, I'm here.
Okay. The hair made an introduction for itself, honey. I was like, yes. And he also mentions Coach Bella gets on his nerves. Absolutely. Absolutely. Coach Bella is probably one of the worst characters.
It was the over
ever.
It was the over coaching for me. Obviously, like Bella is the character, right? So I was gonna say overacting, but I was like, no, that's the idea of her. Never mind. But it's the if her being a real person is her like the over like reaction. It's the overreaction for me. You know, the over
right.
Come on, let's do it. You know, you're the best in the class. I'm like,
girl.
Why did you tell Zado that he was the best in the class?
Okay, and Zado straight clocked all of it. Every bit of it. He was like, nah, she was telling everybody.
Right? Like,
you know.
I would have been like, excuse me, I have a question, Bella. Do you think I'm not the best in the class either?
Okay.
Like, what about me?
What about me?
I can do things.
Okay. Now, granted, she did come for him because he had destroyed one of her little punching bag thingies, and she was just like, now you're gonna have to pay for it if you break another one. I'm like, now, sis, I'm just saying. Now why didn't you tell him he was the best? Because now he's costing you money. That's what it is. He costing you money. Got it.
Facts. Because you know you know what? It would have been funny if she's like, just don't tell anyone this, but I think you're the best in the class, and then slide in the fact that if he breaks another one, that would have been funny.
Yeah. Now that is funny. That would have been funny. It's like, you know what? I just want to tell you, you're the best in the class, but if you break another one, you will pay for it. Thank you. Right. Thanks. Bye.
Yes, I love that so much more. That would have been funny. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. That would have been hilarious. Yeah, but yes.
Funny. Oh my god. But yes. Is that all the comments from Brian?
That is all we got. That's all we got.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you all for listening and supporting. If you have been and if you've been being shy about leaving comments, it's okay. It's okay. You don't have to, but we would appreciate it if you did.
But at least like the episode, you know, share it if you will, tell a friend, something. Like you don't have to, make your appearance like your presence obvious, but if you do all the things, we still see you.
We still see you, and we appreciate you. So, thank you at the end of the day. We really do appreciate and love that you like what we do. We love it. But yes, so just to go ahead and start off, because I know everybody's like, oh my God, Hasbro PostCon, a lot of stuff happened. It did. A lot of stuff did happen. And you probably noticed there was a familiar face on there. It was mine.
I don't think they know your face, but okay.
Well, that's true. They know my voice and they couldn't hear it. But that's how I look. If anybody didn't know, that is how I look. I was the guy on the top left corner with the yellow shirt. That was me.
Awesome. Real quick, if you all want to see what we look like, comment in this episode, post a photo, and we'll find our favorite one and we'll post it. If y'all want to see what we look like. If not, that's totally cool too. Just a random
That's funny because I'm like, or you can just head on to linktr.ee/shopping of the grid, and literally our links will be there, except for yours because your face isn't on there. But and I'm talking about Lena. But me and Will, you'll know exactly how we look.
This is true.
You'll know exactly how we look. But Lena, you'll give her cats.
Slide to my fans only page.
Oh, yes. Come on, OnlyFans.
Oh yes.
My God. And you will see nothing but her cats. Like nothing but. And we love to see it. We love to see it.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Fans only, guys.
Okay, it is happening. It is happening.
Oh my god! But yeah, sorry. Back to the con. Brennan, tell us.
Yes,
Your
yes.
experience. Tell us how you got on there, give or take, and just tell us your overall thoughts of your time on this.
So I mean, it was honestly, I represent both Tribunal of the Grid and No Pink Spandex. So really in actuality, I was doing both at the same time, if you will. So I was asked to do it, and I was like, okay, cool. I'll go ahead and represent both, No Pink and Tribunal. And so I went ahead, I went ahead and did my thing, came on. We didn't get to say anything. But I'm actually kind of glad that we didn't. Only because of the fact that I'm like, I personally hate the way I sound. I really do. And plus I wouldn't know what to say. So I'm actually very grateful that they did not ask anyone to speak. And plus, also it would have been kind of funny if they ended up asking me to speak and I'm like, nobody knows who I am. Even though I'm representing No Pink, like nobody knows who I am. I'm kind of glad I didn't get to say anything, only because of the fact, like I said, nobody really knew, who I was. And that kind of would have been funny if like this is my first time ever like being around these people and they're like, hey, you represent No Pink Spandex. Can you say something? And it's like, yes, sure. That would have probably been the biggest like what the hell moment is going on. Like that would probably been that, but whatever. But no, they didn't have anybody say anything. They just asked us we just did our reactions to things, which you all saw. And that was it.
That could have been messy though, with all those people in there.
Yeah. And I think that's probably was the idea of not anybody saying anything, because it was like, maybe we don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Or,
no, I'm talking about there's like 20 people there. It would have been crazy to hear all those voices like speaking. You would have had to like, yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like selecting like particularly one person. But yeah, you're right though. Like if everybody is like talking all at once, that's terrible. That's awful. If everybody's talking all at once, that'd be awful. But yeah, so nobody said anything and it was great. So it was a lovely experience. I was watching everything in real time with everybody else, obviously. And yeah, now let's get into it, because obviously, there were things that happened during post-con that that everybody is like gagged over, like there was some things that was like, oh, it's cute. It was cute. We had fun. And then there were some things that was like, okay, this need work. So first of all, before we get into it, I just want to say that I have no idea who this host was, this Brandon man. I have no idea who he was. Personally, I'm like, I'm not gonna say he didn't do it for me, but at the same time, I'm like, I mean, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't fantastic either to me. I don't know. Like, I just felt it was very much of like a panel host. Like, I mean, it wasn't really given like I just kind of feel like, I don't know. Like, it just felt like I feel like I wanted, like I've seen better panelists, like panel hosts. I've seen better than that. And the fact that he was for all of the Power Ranger stuff, I was like, that's kind of interesting. Like, did y'all like him at all? Like, how did y'all feel about it?
I didn't watch the entire panel, so
I didn't really. It was like, whatever to me. I was like, all right, cool. Whatever. My thing was, it was during the Dino Fury panel that I just kind of felt like a lot of the questions, a lot of the I feel like it could have been moderator. Why am I calling him the panel? Whatever. Moderator. He was the moderator. The way that he did it, I felt like it could have been moderated better. Because I felt like there was a lot of missed opportunities in terms of questions that he could have asked, and things of that nature. It was okay in terms of just like getting everybody up on camera and just being like, because it was like 7 people in total, because it was not, and that's excluding Brandon, because you had Simon Bennett and the cast. So like you had, Russell, Hunter, Kai, Tessa, Chance, and Jordan, and then you had Simon Bennett, which I'm like, I wouldn't have thought that they would have brought him on. I just thought that they would have just had just the cast. But no, like Simon Bennett came too. So it was cute. Like I actually did enjoy it. And I enjoyed what they had to say. During the panel, Tessa, told the people that, she had a surprise for the girls, for the daughters. And just playing, but she had a surprise for everybody, basically being like, I'm on Legacy Wars now. So now you can play with Izzy, the Green Ranger, on Legacy Wars, which is freaking amazing. I just love her opening before she fights, because she rips off the skirt, and I'm like, yes! Literally, I would play the game just for that. I would play as her just for that, just so I can rip off my skirt every time. Like, what? There you go. I'm ready to fight. Like, that is the most badass way to fight, though. Like, literally, before you even like get ready to scrap, you just rip off your skirt. Like,
I have to say, I don't play Legacy Wars as much as I did before. One of the reasons being is like we have these new characters that are announced, but you have to do so much to actually unlock them, and I don't understand why it's so difficult.
Yeah, because it's a pay to play. It's a pay to play. And the whole idea is, you pay this money just so that you can get these characters. But the gag is what I hate about it is the fact that, you have to do you have to pay this money to play as these characters. But it's like, first of all, not everybody wants to pay to play pay to play for these characters. And then B, it's like, no tea, no shade, but at the same time, it's like the characters that sometimes be coming out ain't worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, they have had some cool characters that have come out. Like, your Kira, your Taylor, your Tori, some of those characters like that. That's been cool. But it's like, not only do they charge you for that, they charge you for like, if correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't played Legacy Wars like that either, but in a long time. But they'll charge you for like changing like the mod. Like if you want to like change like their skin, that's why the skins. If you want to change like the skin of the character, like change their look, like you get charged for that. Like there's so many things that you have to pay for. And it's like, nobody feels like doing all of that. So I would love to, play as Izzy and rip my skirt off every 5 minutes. But it's like at the same time, like I don't feel like paying no money for that. You know what I'm saying? So but yeah, I actually do like the fact that she was introduced as the first Dino Fury Ranger to be in Legacy Wars. I thought that was pretty cool. We also had another first, which was Russell, who announced that he has a figure, which we're going to talk more about that when we get down to the figures. But I thought that was pretty cool, that he was so excited and he was so geeked that he was like, oh my God, like I have a figure. This is amazing. And it was so adorable how just so excited he was, and just like, oh my God, like it looks just like me. And he was just, it made my heart melt. It was. I love this cast, by the way. Like this cast is just. I love these people. So yeah, I thought that was really cute. But some of the things that they showed in the actual panel, they showed us two things. They did a bloopers reel, obviously, which, featured the Dino Fury cast, being silly on set, which I thought was really cute. And then they also showed us a scene that's going to be happening in season 2, where we see a general, fighting Gold Ranger. And, he's like trying to, reel the Gold Ranger in. And then Zado comes flying out of this stormy ass area looking like the apocalypse is going down, comes flying out of nowhere on this bike called the Dino Fury Cycle. And he comes out, he's doing his thing, and he's whipping this monster's ass with a bike. I'm like, okay, we love to see it. And then, Jordan and his Southern drawl, is giving us the work, being like, that is one sick ride, like... I just love his voice. But, he's talking about that. And I just want y'all to know, and I don't know whether you noticed or not, but I ain't gonna hold you. That is a CGI bike. It's not real. That I watched that scene over and over and over and over and over and over because I was like, there's something wrong here. Something doesn't seem right about this bike. And I just kept looking at it. I'm like, there's something wrong. Something is going on here. I can't quite put my finger on it. And I am deducing that this is a CGI bike. Which, I mean, don't get me wrong, like the CGI looks great. Like it looks fan-fucking-tastic. Like I was just like, oh, they gave y'all money. Like they gave y'all money for this second season. They said, listen, Nickelodeon only gave us but so much for this first half, but Netflix, on the other hand, they gave us money. And, they were like, fuck it, we just gonna go ahead and kill it. I don't know whether that's what happened, but...
everything about the whole scene looks CGI, but you're right. It's very...
It does, right?
Very, it's very, I don't know if I like it that with this was CGI or I don't. If that makes any sense. Like, I appreciate the money and the effort because that's a lot for a kid's TV show, right? But I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. Because if it's this CGI, they may not bring it back again.
You talking about bring back the bike?
Yeah.
I think they will.
Or no, they'll just use the same clip over and over again.
Yeah, I was gonna say they'll just recycle it.
True.
And just swap out the monster that he's fighting.
But then wouldn't that lead to I don't know. I don't know how big Hasbro wants to make this because if what's the word for it? You're creating a level of expectations now, right? If with that being said, if Hasbro takes it one notch and Netflix takes it one notch, Power Rangers could one day become mainstream.
I think that's the goal. I honestly believe that's the goal. That's the goal. But I'm surprised at by how effective the season has been. How much change and barriers they've already moved. Hasbro is really buddy, let's do this shit. I'm impressed.
It's about time.
Right? It is about time. And I think as a whole, obviously we're grown ass fucking adults making a podcast on it. So I guess it's been so long that I don't expect anything more.
Right. Right. No, and I feel you. I actually agree with you, Lena. I actually agree with you 100%. I understand exactly where you're coming from with the kind of like trying to like be like, okay, so where are we going with this kind of thing? I can kind of definitely understand that question. My thing is too, just to kind of piggyback off that, is if we're gonna have this level of like CGI, this level of like, oh, this is what we're doing, then you can't punk out. Like if you're going to do it, do it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, it was crisp. Like that bike for it to
I'm
be
looking
CGI,
at it again.
It looks like a
Wow, this looks a
toy.
lot better.
When they
It looks a
stop,
lot better than what we usually get.
right? That's what I'm saying. Like it looks so good. Like everything about it looks so great. So like I'm kind of scared because like we've been let down so many times, and we keep thinking that it's gonna get better, and that's gonna be like we're gonna become like mainstream, and that's great for the franchise. That's great for like like for the fact that for the love of something that we love for so long. Like that's a great growth.
Right.
Guys, we're in this relationship with them for this long, but hey, you know what? We keep waiting for that change.
Right.
I
Right.
literally was thinking about this today earlier. And I think that if we don't get it with Dino Fury, which they're like on the road to giving us what we want, I think with whatever comes next, that'll be when Whistle and the new direction kind of takes more effect or full effect. And then that is when we're going to finally see like these big changes that we're looking for. I'm assuming we're finally going to get our movie news by the top of the year.
I would hope. I mean, but my thing is, I'm like, we haven't really. Whistle is out here doing everything but Power Rangers, and I'm like, I'm actually a little nervous because I'm like, yeah, I know he's supposed to be helming the new universe and basically about the turn Power Rangers inside out and give us a new style, a new hairdo, a new cut, a new color. He's about to do all the things, but at the same time, it's like, but baby, when you doing this? When are you gonna do it? Because it's like we're still going over here. Like Power Rangers is still like we're still doing all the things with Dino Fury. More than likely, we're gonna get another Sentai adaptation. We're still gonna get another one of those because I personally do not see anything happening as of right now, like next year. I don't see it because we're telling the end of 2021. You know what I'm saying? And around about pretty much next month, January-ish, is when they're going to be announcing the next season because literally 2 months later is the auditions. So it's like at some point, it's like, all right, we have to start trying to figure out, okay, what are we doing? And I just feel like as of right now, there is no information. Whistle is still on, directing shit. They ain't got nothing to do with us. And, doing all the things. And it's like, well, what's going to happen? Like we don't have any idea about the new the new quote unquote animation. The movie that was supposed to be coming out, or that they're supposed to be doing. We don't have any information on it yet. So it's just like at this point, what are we gonna do? So that's my only thing. I'm just like, I just feel like it's just gonna be business as usual. Literally, it's just gonna be business as usual, just on Netflix.
I mean, just because we're not getting any news right now doesn't mean that they're not, secretly.
Oh no, I'm not saying that. Yeah. I'm not saying that. I just feel like it's just gonna be business as usual. Like there's not like because like there's been so much going on with like fans being like, oh, this is what's gonna happen, and this is what's gonna happen, and this is what's gonna happen, and this is what's gonna happen. And it's like, babies, none of this stuff has been, they're saying that this is down the pipeline, but they didn't say when. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't give us a time frame. Hell, this stuff could be happening, but it could be happening 2-3 years from now, 4 years from now, 5 years from now. We don't know when this stuff is actually going to happen. And that is, I think, the issue, not really the issue, but the gag of it all. It's like, yeah, they're talking about, oh, these things are going to happen, but the show still must go on. You know what I'm saying? Like, the show still must go on. And I really do feel like, dead ass, I am dead serious. I really do feel like we're just going to keep getting more Sentai adaptations until they're ready to actually do the thing. And who knows? They may keep giving us Sentai adaptations for the Churin. And then for the adult one, do something completely different. Kind of like how they did with the movie, with the 2017 movie. Give us something completely different and let that be its own thing. And then for the Churin, let that continuously be the Sentai adaptation. Which honestly, that would not surprise me, nor would it bother me. Because it's like, the more Power Ranger adaptations and versions that you have, the more you can satisfy everybody. Versus having this one version that everybody is either like can get on board with or everybody can't. You know what I'm saying? And I do love the fact that we do have a lot of things that is creeping into the version that we have now. I do love that we are finally getting into the 21st century in terms of storytelling and allowing certain things to be seen. However, I do kind of feel like also, if we're going to be doing this also, it's like a lot, like the main crux of the fan base is really actually adults. I mean, yes, it is primarily children, but it's actually adults too.
At this point,
this point, it's adults. And it's like, I hear Hasbro wanting to be like, yeah, it's for the kids. And I listen, I am with you on that. It has always been a children's programming, but at the same time, the adults is where it's at too. So if they wanted to do a little piece of live action that is sort of like the 2017 movie and have it be its own separate thing, I'd be for that, because I've always said I would love for Power Rangers to be like a little piece of Buffy. Make that shit like a little piece of action horror. Because when you think about it, the original Mighty Morphin, because they're going to do Mighty Morphin, child, they're going to milk that Mighty Morphin wheel forever, honey. If you think about it, the horror theme is there for Mighty Morphin. It really is. If you really do think about it, it's there.
Rita's a witch. Her crew is actually quite creepy.
Her crew is creepy. She's a witch. They're all based off of different monsters, different genre monsters. Babu is a whole vampire. Squat is a troll. Goldar is some kind of like mix, some kind of like mythical mix of a creature. He's like a griffin / something, which in Japanese culture I believe is evil. So Scorpina is like this beautiful woman who turns into a freaking ugly ass monster.
Right.
Like, so I mean, it's like literally like, and then the putties, if you really think about the putties, you can make the putties be some badasses. Because if you really think about it, these mugs are literally clay. They can mold their bodies into weapons if they really wanted to go that far.
As we've seen in the comics.
So it's like, they can really turn this show into a badass show if they really wanted to. So I'm like, do the things that we really want to see. And I do kind of feel like the adults in that area, they really do want to see this stuff. And it's like, yes, but they're still trying, I'm pretty sure they're still trying to figure it out on their end, which is like, that's great and all, but for the time being, let's keep shoving out these Sentai seasons. So, but I do see a lot of those comments with a lot of fans being like, oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do kind of a thing, or like, when is this going to happen? Or, stuff like that. And it's like, it's going to happen. But I mean, literally they just had the CEO just passed, literally. And also, like, other things still need to happen before all this stuff comes out. So I'm like, we're going to probably get a little piece of Cure Major and call it a day. Like, it's fine. But I do think that the in terms of the CGI that we were talking about before, I do think that CGI, it hopefully is going to keep going, and it just keeps getting better and better and better, because definitely that whole scene was CGI for sure. Like, it was definitely CGI. So I was very impressed with that. And that bike is clean. We haven't gotten anything like that since Jungle Fury. That was the last time we got like a little motorcycle that is like that fights in battle, wasn't it? It was Jungle Fury, because wasn't it with Casey? He put on that ugly ass armor.
Oh my
jumped
God!
on the bike.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like that was the last person who did something like that. That was in the
That's
Disney
a long
era.
time ago.
That was a long time ago. So the fact that Dino Fury is bringing it back, it's like, okay, y'all just trying to just dip and dabble in all the old Power Rangers stuff. And it was just like, all right, we're going to just touch on everything. I love it. One of the other things so that was what happened mainly in the panel. So then after that, they went ahead and introduced the toy panel. Now, obviously, they talked about some things that we've already seen. Like the Walmart exclusives, I believe they're Walmart exclusives, but the one with like NinjaCon that we've seen, and the other Megazords, which, funny enough, I'm glad they actually mentioned that's where it came from. I was like, wow, y'all actually are, y'all aren't just being like, oh, we made this shit up. You know what I'm saying? Like, they actually acknowledged, like, yeah, we know this was something that existed that just never came out. So I like that they acknowledged it. But then they also mentioned the Lord Zedd head / helmet. What do y'all think about that?
That was unexpected. It looks really good.
I mean, but yeah. You were saying unexpected, Will?
Yeah. I just expected them to only do helmets. That is a helmet. Only do Ranger helmets. But they're really like they're really coming for like the costume makers and cosplayers and stuff. So I'm wondering like how that, I mean, of course somebody is going to be creative enough to make that work with a cosplay, but I wonder how that will work with a cosplay. But I think it looks great.
Oh yes, it looks amazing.
I am a little surprised that it is Lord Zedd, but I'm not surprised because the fact that it lined up perfectly with the episodes.
Right. What a coincidence.
This was not a coincidence.
Well, I guess it was. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they planned this in advance. And they're like, what monsters should we bring back? Let's do Lord Zedd, And the fact that, again, back to what Brendan said, they're going to try to milk Mighty Morphin for all they can. So why not use the villain from Mighty Morphin that, surprisingly enough, has yet to be defeated? And I'm not going to lie. Like, after watching this past episode, obviously, we're going to talk about that further, but like, just to kind of touch on Lord Zedd, I realize how evil and how dangerous Lord Zedd truly was. Like, I didn't put that together until like the episode that we're about to review, where Solon was basically pointing out how evil this dude was, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's actually a really good point. Like, I didn't even take that in. Mind you, we were kids when we were seeing this, right? And obviously, as an adult, I haven't really rewatched Mighty Morphin. It's kind of cringy for me. I can't do it. But
girl, me neither.
right? But when you really think about it, like the stuff that was highlighted, I'm like, oh damn. Like,
girl, we gonna get to that highlight reel in a bit.
right?
But go ahead.
But yeah, like I'm just shook. So anywho, Z. But back to the helmet question thing. So I'm not surprised that they did him. And I think, honestly, I think to go back to what you're saying, I think originally they were only planning on doing Rangers, but then they figure why not do an evil villain too? Because you gotta have villains in order to have Rangers. So, so I think when Lord Zedd, they're like, that's it. That's our moneymaker. That's right. We're gonna do this. I think that's what really happened. I mean, who knows, right? Obviously, we're not there, but that's my theory on it. That they line everything up perfectly. I mean, they could have brought back any monster, any of the evil leaders in the past, but they brought back, Lord Zedd. They could have even brought back like Rito or Rito Repulsa. Actually, no. I mean, she hasn't been brought back in a while, but even Rito, the son, would have worked because, he was around for quite some time. So I don't know, like it could have been anybody, but really, but to bring back Lord Zedd, that was definitely a twist, and so I'm not surprised that they did Lord Zedd. When I saw the announcement, I was like, of course you would, of course, like hello.
And plus, yeah, too, it's like it's not a face, because it would be weird you walking around with a Rita head,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, that's
looking crazy.
It's funny that when that's when I said Rita, I was like, no, Rito. That's why I only stopped at Rito because I'm like, no, Rito makes sense because he's not really a real face per se, like he's obviously like a monster-ish face, so that's why I was like, oh yeah, they could have brought that, they could have brought him back, being the son and all that could have worked. They could have been anybody that's not human or humanish face, so,
right?
Yeah, so I'm not surprised, but
yeah, no, and it's funny though because like I kid you not, like it's funny that they did do Lord Zedd because Lord Zedd was such a revered character for a lot for the soccer moms. Speaking of the soccer moms, Power Rangers and soccer moms have a unrequited war that literally that is just not going to end. I don't think it's ever going to end, or maybe it has just died away and nobody's really paid any attention to it. But the way that back in the day soccer moms just did not care for Lord Zedd, they said that man was scaring their children, and they did not appreciate that.
I'm sorry. You know what's scaring your children? You guys are. Oh my god.
Okay. Call it like it is. Call it like it is. It is you.
It is you. It is not Lord Zedd. I'm sorry.
Because I guarantee you, when them children is having their little nightmares at night, you know who you know what's happening. Lord Zedd is morphing into you. You are scaring them. And vice versa. You are morphing into Lord Zedd and it's scaring them children. Don't sit here and try to blame him. Talking about Lord Zedd is scaring my children. You doing it. Y'all crazy asses.
Oh,
ain't no damn sense.
But it is them,
So I just find it funny that they were like, we're gonna do this Lord Zedd helmet. I'm like, okay. This is an interesting choice. This is a very interesting choice.
I'm gonna wonder how many petitions are gonna be done by the soccer's mom now. Like,
okay. How dare you?
Meanwhile, I'm sure them children are watching Halloween.
Okay.
Mike Myers or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Mike Myers.
I can tell you right now.
Or Michael Myers.
Right, or Michael Myers. Right. I can tell you right now that them children are watching Halloween Kills.
Okay.
I guarantee it.
And some of those children are obsessed with Michael Myers and dress as him for Halloween. That's really crazy. I've seen so many videos of kids like like toddlers running up to him and hugging him and just like being in love with him. That is so fascinating.
That is creepy, but also at the same time, I also kind of feel like, in a way, it's kind of scary in a way, because it's literally desensitizing violence.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, it's desensitizing it to the point where it's like it's almost kind of becoming a mode of entertainment.
Yeah.
Rather than being like, oh crap, like this is something that's bad, and like, oh my God, like this shouldn't be happening, and this person is doing a bad thing, yet it's being desensitized to the point where it's like, oh yeah, this is enjoyable. And it's like, and you have like kids actually being like, oh, like this is great. And I'm like, do we not know the whole point of horror to begin with? Like, I just feel like it has went from acknowledging social how can I put it? It went from acknowledging social status quo of being like, okay, this is what's actually happening in the real world, you know, as far as like women being, you know, always being attacked by people. Because if we notice, you know, a lot of those horror movies back in the day, a lot of them were centered around killing women, because literally women were dying as a result of, you know, they were like the focal point of being killed, like by killers. They were always women. So horror movies designed that based off of that. So that's why you saw a lot of the horror movies, a lot of the genres always had women leads, but they were also it also had a lot of women dying in it as well. And you know, horror just basically told the story of just society.
Exactly.
So it's just like, I just feel like we've stepped from that, and now it's become this mode of entertainment where it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, like the more gorier the better, and oh my God, just rip him out, rip his guts out, yeah.
So
and it's like
so then that goes back to our main point. You are crying about Lord Zedd? Sit your fucking ass down. I'm sorry.
Yeah. 100, Lena.
No. Oh, that gets me so angry. Like
100. I notice or not, but his brain is squishy. Like you can actually press his head down. Yeah. I'm like, that's so interesting. Oh my God.
I was like,
I mean, it makes sense. Hopefully it's you know, durable and doesn't get all like.
What if they did the whole fidget thingy, Bob? You know, like how people like to press things, so they did it so his head you can press it like a fidget popper thingy, Bob.
Yeah. Ooh, that would be actually. Ooh. I mean, it would be kind of cool, but also
right. I was gonna say it'd be kind of cool, but like but then that goes back to what we're just saying. You're normalizing serial killer tendency. Brain. Oh, so much fun.
Brains.
No, thank you. Don't touch my brain.
All right, please don't. But but yeah, moving right along. So we got the brand new figures, Red Ranger Zado, who once again he was like so excited for that. We got a Shelby who looks fucking amazing. Merrick, girl bye. And the Cogs, which are like the shinier versions. So we got like 3 different versions of Cogs now. We got the matte silver, what is that, kind of like a burnt rust colored Cog, and now we got the super shiny one.
Well, and the kind of big thing with this one is that they have Rocky's weapons with
it. They have his Tompas in there. So
instead of maybe just re-releasing Rocky with them.
Okay, give him a better face, because Rocky is not some Dominican who owns a shop in New York. That is not who Rocky is. Stop this. But I think they look foul. Like, what do y'all think? Like, I think they look great. I do like the Lightning Collection figures. I do think that I don't like, there's a few minor details about each figure, except for the Cog. There's a few minor details about each one of them that I was like, I don't know. Y'all need to fix that, and it'll be perfect. Just fix it. Zado, his little lightning bolt thing is very slim. It's on the slim side. She needs to thicken it up a little bit. She needs to get thicker. She's a little too skinny. She's a little too skinny for me. Because, it's a shame when you got the regular figure that is accurate. The one that without the head, the one that they sold originally. Mm-hmm. It's very accurate. The only thing is that it just has a red neck. If you color it white, like it's literally a perfect figure. Like literally, it's perfect. So I was just like, I always found that to be very interesting that this is what they mess up on. I was like, y'all mess up on the lightning bolt. But then again, I'm pretty sure they probably were like, well, in order to like have his torso moving and everything, that might be a little bit difficult. I get it. But at the same time, it's like, y'all can make that a little thicker, just a little bit. But other than that, I think the figure is fabulous. Like, I think it's great. I think his face does look like him.
I don't love his face.
You don't? Really?
No, I think that it could look more like him.
I think it's very close. I don't think it does not look like
almost him, doesn't count.
Oh, now if we gonna go there. The only person that I think that they got perfect was Nakia. Everybody else was just like, yeah, you can't, yeah.
I really like Shelby's. I think that looks like Camille, and the hair looks good.
I think honestly, and I'm gonna be 100 with you, now hold space, but I really do think that your logic actually applies to Shelby too. Almost doesn't count, because I do not think that does not. I don't think that looks just like Shelby. I think it's close. I think it's close, but I don't think it looks like a splitting image of her. I don't think it does. Now, what I do think and what I do agree with is that hair. That hair is perfect. Like, it is spot on Shelby. The way it poofs up in the top, the way hers was.
Shut up.
And this is no shade. This is no shade to her. But sis has natural hair. And when they would straighten it, it's obvious that they wouldn't get down to the root. Like, it was obvious. And obviously we know she doesn't do, well, she didn't at the time do perms. I don't know if she do it now, but she doesn't do relaxers. So literally, like, her root, like her top of her head was always like poofed up. And they got it, like Hasbro nailed it down perfectly. I'm like, y'all did that with the hair, but her face is, I was like, don't get me wrong, her face isn't bad. I'm not going to say it's bad, because that's not true. But to say that, oh, it's perfect, like, oh, it looks just like her, no. I don't think it does. The only one who I think looks just like them is Merrick, the white guy.
They did a good job on that one. Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, can't mess up a white person's face. But, but I personally think that he's the only one that actually looks spot on. Like, that looks just like Phillip Andrews. Just like him. The only thing that, once again, they kept flubbing because Shelby is missing her Dino Saber, or whatever that weapon is called. She's missing that weapon. They gave her sidearm, her little personalized weapon, the drill. They gave her that, but they didn't give her sword. That's a fuck up on their part. And also with the Silver Ranger, for some odd reason, he's supposed to have 6 stripes, not 5. Because he has the same amount of stripes as the Red Ranger, the Red Wild Force Ranger. Add another stripe, baby. Give us another stripe. But yeah, like, pretty much all of I felt like all of the figures, to me, they look great. They were just, for the human people, they were just missing certain things that was just like, you almost had me until I noticed this. So yeah, they came out with that. And then also, no tea, no shade, but we got ourselves another little piece of extra Lightning Collection figures. But here's the problem that I have, right? So we got the extra little piece of Lightning Collection figure. Baby, listen, I am irritated. I am very irritated. Why did they give us another TJ just to give him a Galaxy Glider?
That doesn't bother me at all. The only thing that bothered me, because I would get that over the one that they released already. The only thing that bothered me is the coloring of his suit, but I don't know if that's just the lighting or if he actually, is colored differently. He's like lighter.
Yeah, it could be the light. It could be the lighting. I'm not sure. But I mean, honestly, that don't even bother me. I'm just mad at the fact that it's like, oh, we're selling two different figures and you're not even changing his face. There's no changes. All you're really doing is just giving him a Galaxy Glider. And I'm like,
that's a pretty big deal.
They should have done that before. In my opinion, like that should have been the first one, not, oh, we're going to just give us a standalone TJ figure. What we should have gotten is all of them with Galaxy Gliders. If we're gonna be doing all that. I'm just saying, give us all Galaxy Gliders, or give us a 5-pack of Galaxy Gliders, or something, or give us just figures, or do what they used to do, right? Have like the little figures and then make them with that. You can put them on the Galaxy Gliders. They could do that. Like it just really irritates me that it's like you basically are shoving us brand new, like shoving us the same figure, but just giving us a brand, like an added edition. It's like, what is different that is appealing to this figure other than you're giving him like the glider? Like, what else is different? There's nothing different. What is the appeal? Because now you just gave me an extra TJ for no reason, and there's nothing different about him. I didn't like that, but I did like the fact that they did give us a little piece of new monster, which I was like, oh, that's cool. They gave us another monster. So I like that. I did like that. They gave us the Francis head, if anybody remembers that monster.
Mm-hmm.
Icon. Because he is the one who gave us the Thunderzords, honey, because he basically froze the Dinozords, which I was just like, back in the day, I was like, oh my God. We all were like, oh my God, that's children. We also got a little sneak peek into the Zord Ascension project, aka Zap, which I thought was kind of freaking cool. Thought that was kind of dope. It doesn't come apart. Mm-hmm. It doesn't come apart, but it's 11 inches, though.
That's what she says.
It's 11 inches. It's so big. I'm like,
exactly.
That is what also what she said. Girl,
that's crazy.
I was like, wow, that's the biggest Zord ever that we've ever had.
It would be really cool if it separated, but the fact that it doesn't is just kind of like, well, what's the point? Yeah, I can see that argument, and I agree. I do agree. I originally I thought it did separate, and then when they were talking about it, I thought it was going to separate, but then the guy made it very clear. He was like, they do not come apart. It's just a figure. But because a lot of toy collectors, they were saying it, they were like, a lot of toy collectors have like these elaborate backgrounds with tall buildings and things of that nature. So like it look great for like a little piece on your tower of toys or whatever, your display, it'll look really cool. Which I'm like, oh, it's a display piece. Oh, so this hoe don't come apart. She's just there for looks and gags. Got you. But yeah, it's cute or whatever, I guess. She's cute. For the girls who want her, she's cute. And then we got a little piece of NFT. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, the way the girls have been dragging this little piece of NFT, honey. Yeah.
The girls have been dragging.
Can you explain what That is exactly like they use the packaging isn't sustainable or something.
Yeah. So, okay. So apparently, with my understanding, that's exactly what it is. The packaging is very damaging to the environment.
Mhm.
Yeah, and yeah, that's really what it is. And it's like, that's not good. For the people who are just, for environmentalists and people who are looking to protect the environment, that is like, no, that's not good. Which I kind of feel like is, I'm not sure if Power Rangers actual, like the brand actually, I feel like it's one of those things where it's kind of like, maybe they knew, maybe they didn't. I don't really know the behind the scenes of it all. Honestly, this whole argument, I just found out about this argument on like literally like maybe yesterday while on Twitter. So I mean, I don't know what the real gag is and what the tea is. All I know is that the girls are not happy. And they're like, why would you do this, Power Rangers? And I'm just like, what's the problem? But like, hey, if it's that bad, then Power Rangers, y'all need to correct this. Like, Hasbro, correct this, honey. But
Another thing
yeah.
is the fact that they it has a name and they're so proud of having the first ever figure like this when it's something that's detrimental to the environment. That's interesting.
That is very interesting. And that's why I'm like, I don't know if it's
I've never even heard of
something
this
that,
before.
yeah, me either. Like, I've never even heard of it. To be honest, like, I've never even heard of what it even is or anything. But yeah, apparently, like, it's very detrimental to the environment. I'm looking it up now. So apparently, individual pieces of crypto art, non-fungible tokens, are at least partially responsible for the millions and tons of planet-heating carbon dioxide emissions generated by cryptocurrencies used to buy and sell them. Some artists, including those who have benefited from the craze, think it's a problem that can be easily solved. Others think the proposed solutions are a pipe dream. So apparently these things are like basically responsible for destroying our ozone layer, which is not good.
Wow.
I've never heard of them, but that's crazy. That is very crazy. So yeah, I don't know if Power Rangers is just trying to jump on the bandwagon. Like, Hasbro is just like, yeah, let's do this, yeah. And don't really realize that this is the thing. Or if they know and they just don't give a shit. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, but like you said, that is crazy if they actually do know that this is a problem and they're going to do it anyway. They're like, girl, we just here to make that money and leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. But yeah, so that's pretty much all of HasbroCon. Let us know if you enjoyed it. Like, if you saw something that you liked and that you enjoyed, let us know your thoughts. Let us know how you felt about it. And yeah, we'll read the comments on the next show. Also, before we get to Dino Fury, we want to also spotlight some more Dino Fury news. So I know y'all heard of a little piece of Lil Nas X, right? Y'all know that, baby. Call me what you want, call me when you need, call me when you need. Yeah, yeah, y'all know about that, right? So, that was terrible. But so apparently, Tessa tweeted, just realized Lil Nas X follows Power Rangers and the prospects that he has seen me and the team on his feed is no cap a little too much to handle. Girl, that is dope. That is crazy. Like, what do you think? Like, that's wild.
I mean, if he responds, that would be great. But that is, the idea that if he's looking through his Twitter and he sees that Power Rangers is still on, and they have a lesbian, that was pretty.
Or it could be his team just randomly accidentally liking it and following it. Because we don't know.
I mean, that too. Yeah, for sure.
Who's really in control of his page, whether it be him or whether it be someone else. Or it could literally be an accidental follow too. That happened. I sometimes look through my followers and I'm like, who the frick? I don't know my followers, but like, when you're on Instagram or something like you're scrolling and you see like a random post and you're like, who's this? And then you go to their account and you're like, I really don't know who this is. And then you try to scan through your brain to figure out like, how would you have known this account by any means? And you realize you don't. You're like, right. I'm just gonna kindly unfollow. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Right. So, I don't know.
Yeah, so it could be. I don't know. It could be that too. So you don't actually know. Or maybe Lil Nas has been a Rangers of Power Ranger fan forever, and just solely realized that holy shit, Power Rangers is still going on. Let me go ahead and see what's up. Could be literally just that too. So you never know. Yep. I don't know. I don't know.
Good point. That's a very good point. I mean, honestly, truly, I'm actually very surprised. I'm very surprised that, that first of all, he's even acknowledging Power Rangers in general. Like, I'm just like, first of all, that in itself, even whether it's the team, him, whomever, like, I just think that's just wild. That it's like, oh snap, like more and more people are starting acknowledging Power Rangers. Like you got Shang-Chi, him, like Lil Nas X, like so many people are starting to acknowledge Power Rangers, and what's crazy? It's crazy.
Okay, it's not even that. I'm gonna take a step back. I don't think that people are starting to acknowledge Power Rangers. I think that like Simu, he obviously was been a fan for a long time. Like you must be if you watch to the 10th Power, like, or is that Forever Red? Sorry, is that what it was called? What was the episode called?
Yeah, Forever Red.
Forever Red. Right. Yeah.
So you must be a fan long enough for you to actually seen that episode, and long enough for you to rewatch that episode. Like enough that you actually know every single line. So with that being said, most people are like, oh, like when I feel like people are starting to acknowledge Power Rangers. It's always like, oh yeah, Mighty Morphin. I remember. I grew up with that stuff, But it's never what you said. Like, oh yeah, my favorite episode was Forever Red. Like I feel like that hits deeper than just a simple, oh yeah, Power Rangers. I remember that. Yeah, that was my jam when I was a kid. Like, well, yeah, that's nice, but we don't care. Everyone knows Mighty Morphin, like literally everybody, and that's fine. But for me to hear someone like Simu go, yeah, I really like Forever Red. I still know every single, whatever. That hits differently. If that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
for sure.
I think that another thing is as more time goes by, it's becoming more cool to like that because it's more retro, like the whole retro things in. And people are, like in geek culture is a thing. So people are feeling not so embarrassed to say that they like certain things now. And it's I just love it whenever somebody talks about something other than Mighty Morphin.
Right.
I can't wait to hear more of that because, people, I'm thinking about my nephews. I have a 20-year-old and an 18-year-old, and Power Rangers when they were kids was what? Oh my God, SPD, Mystic Force. Like it'll be interesting to hear people talk about those seasons as like, what they grew up on.
Right. You know, like I actually do think that, and I agree with you, Lena. I do believe that it is a lot more impactful. What I will say as well is when it comes to in terms of just like just Power Rangers in general and just being like, yes, I just like the fact of just acknowledging Power Rangers and just the fact that the shit even still exists. Because there's a lot where it's like, oh, well, Power Rangers is this thing of just like, oh, it's just for kids. And just the fact that you actually have like a grown ass person just being like, oh yeah, Power Rangers. It's like, oh, that's actually cool. And it's like, oh, they're a celebrity at that. So yeah, even though maybe they're whomever, just being like, oh yeah, this is the thing, it's still cool to see. Now, granted, now obviously it could be anything. It could be just the fact that, oh, he just heard on, through the grapevine, oh yeah, like this show is like it features an LGBTQIA person, like, okay, that could be a thing. But also I do at least appreciate the fact that it's like, oh, this is kind of cool that they're actually acknowledging it and it actually acknowledging the body of work that is of Dino Fury and what they're doing. So that to me is a plus. However, Simu Wu. I'm sorry. I am so sorry, buddy. But we're gonna get there. Because I hate mispronouncing people's names. But with him, like you could tell, like he really watches it, or at least watch that particular one. Which is great, which is cool, right? I guess for me, it's just like I would love for us to get to a point where it's just a norm. Like we're just a normal show that people watch, and it's not something that is just, oh, a niche thing. And that's what I need for us as fans to understand that Power Rangers, even though it's been going on for almost 30 years, it's still a niche property. It has not become this thing of like, oh my God, this show is like, oh, it's so big and it's so great. It's like, it's not that at all. Like, it's still a niche property. And that's what I need the girls to understand. Like, it's not giving what we think is supposed to be given. It's not that at all. So yeah, that's my only take on it as far as, when it comes to this. It's like I love what they're doing and I love the fact that, all these things are being, expounded on and all this stuff, but we got a lot of work to do and a long road ahead before we get to the kind of acknowledgement that we fans love to beat our chest on. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got a long road ahead before we get to that kind of level. But yeah, but I just wanted to share that because I was like, that's very interesting that he actually acknowledged us, and maybe hopefully people will actually start to, get back into the franchise or at least try to visit it again, and maybe it might pick up new fans, and hopefully when it does pick up the brand new whatever version, the adult version of Power Rangers, that would be like, oh wow, like this is a thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's my only hope, is that we'll get to that. Episode 14 is the Halloween episode, and it brings back Lord Zedd. Now, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Now, what is it giving? Did y'all like Lord Zedd or not? Because that's been the tea.
So the problem that I had a problem. I had a problem that there was like no announcement, no big deal made out of a legacy character coming back. I don't like, this is Lord Zedd. We haven't seen Lord Zedd in how long? Over 20 years. However, I did like that we got to see him fight, which is something that is super rare.
Okay, this
we
mug got
only saw that
hands.
once. Yeah, we only saw that once when he fought Tommy, and that was like he was barely doing anything.
All right.
So this was pretty cool to see. I love the idea of they made it make sense because obviously Lord Zedd is not going to be following anyone's instructions. He had a compliance collar, and he also was picked out of a certain time period. So that's not like a what I want to say? Oh my God, the term is escaping me, but it's not like a modern day Zedd because Zedd, of course, doesn't exist anymore. So they picked him from when he was, in existence.
Right.
So like that was cool. They left it open ended. Like when he was freed, he and after he fought, he got out of there. But the way it seemed like they kind of left it open ended for him to maybe come back at some point.
Well, not even just that, but what I want to know is what the heck is he going to do now? Because you have to remember, now he exists in this timeline.
Well, no, he left. I thought that he teleported back to his timeline. That's what
No, he just got out of there.
He's got out of there.
Wow.
We don't know where he's at.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess we are going to see him again.
You have to remember, there is no timeline for him to go back to. He doesn't even know how he even got there.
Yeah.
So, I don't know where he teleported to, but I mean, I guess he wanted to join the fun because everyone was teleporting. He got so angry over it. Remember? He was like, what the frick? Why is everyone teleporting?
Right.
Okay, he was mad. He was like, if you hoes teleport one more damn time. Like, Lord Zedd was like, does anybody want to throw hands anymore? Like, what is the tea? I come from an era where everybody be doing martial arts. Come on. Do you want to fight or not?
So that's what I'm saying. Like, he wanted to join the fun. But that's what I want to know. I want to know because you have to remember, this is going to set us up for a lot more. What if, guys, just a random thought, what if this is going to be the season finale and it's like a 3-parter and it's basically defeating Lord Zedd once and for all?
Listen, girl, if Power Rangers was to ever pull something like that off, girl, I would literally scream. I would scream.
Like, ooh, it's a thought. But yeah, it's a thought. I was a little surprised to see Lord Zedd, though. I'm not going to lie. Because, again, it goes back to the fact that it could have been anyone else in history. There was other scarier monsters in history. Different leadership that was even scary. Like Ventic was pretty scary, but obviously he was just in the recent season, right? So he was like, whatever. But I just think there's so much more, so many different monsters that could have been pulled back. And I do applaud them for the fact that they brought back Lord Zedd. That was very genius of them. And I like the quick rundown that they gave the new audience that didn't know who Lord Zedd was. Like, that was brilliant. The chef's kiss for me.
Mm-hmm. I agree. For me personally, I actually love the fact that they brought back Lord Zedd because, first of all, I know we just mentioned it, but we got to see him fight. Like, Lord Zedd never fought, and that's mainly due to the fact that his original suit was just so fragile that they just always had him sitting down because it was like any wrong move could tear it. So that was the whole point. That's the reason why he never really fought. But they made his suit now to the point where literally he can move around. And it's like Lord Zedd was sitting here giving Muggs hands. He came out the gate kicking people's asses on this episode. And it's like, that is the kind of energy that we needed back in the 90s. Like, I think I would have been much more intimidated by Lord Zedd if he actually threw hands with the Rangers. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
but that little piece of fight he did with Tommy, I was like, oh no, whatever.
He was kicking Tommy's ass, even though he wasn't doing much.
Exactly. Which, that's intimidating by itself. But just imagine.
he came at him for his battle cries. Oh, is that supposed to do something?
Okay. But I'm not gonna lie to you though.
He ain't wrong.
Wrong.
It goes, you know what I noticed too? That goes well with the morphing, right? Remember how they always make fun of the fact that Rangers take forever to morph. I noticed this season, they get straight to the point. I love it.
Sometimes. Well, like they usually do like a quick one, and then later on in the episode they'll do a long one.
Right, but the long one is usually like a group
That's
thing.
long as hell. Yeah, I wish that they would. I wish that somebody would attack them during that already. Damn it!
But you can't because they're protected. Remember, it's kind of like when Sailor Moon go more.
Not when I'm talking about while they're doing all those hand movements and shit. Before they transform. Like, oh, come on, and then just blast them. That'd be cool.
I mean,
that would be hilarious, actually.
I'm sure didn't that happen with a Ninja Storm?
I don't remember.
Oh yeah, well, no, it happened when Tori was trying to morph, and she got shot after she completed her morphing sequence.
Yeah,
I remember
after, after she finished.
Was Turbo when they did the with the Shadow Rangers, the guy shot them as they were morphing and then made the Shadow Rangers. Right.
But like literally they were like they already finished the hand movements, but it was just like he shot them.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah. But like actually like while they're trying to do the hand movements, I think that did happen. It did happen. It happened in Wild Force with Alyssa. Toxica got mad because Alyssa called her old, and like right when she was about to go like wild access, she shot Alyssa, and Alyssa went flying off the cliff. It has happened.
Right.
It has happened, which I'm like, actually, that's kind of funny that happened in this season. But anyway, but yeah, like it's funny though because like I agree that doing the whole like Dino Fury key, and then you got to put the key in and ready, and you got to turn it, and you got to lift like what is it? What is it? Something in the morphing grid? What is it?
Link to morphing
grid. I was losing that word. Link to morphing grid.
They're like, it's morphin time. Link to morphing grid. I'm like,
link to morphing grid. And it's like, hurry it up, damn it.
I'm like, okay, I already know. You just announced to the villain and everyone else you're morphing. We get it.
Like, we get it. But at least it's instantaneous. Like, as soon as they do it, it's like, all right, we're done.
Right. And that's what I appreciate with this season. Like, I find that they do. Okay, yes, whatever. Well, I don't care. They do alternate, but bottom line is they're not wasting a shit ton of my time, trying to morph and do all the hand gestures. Okay? Just saying.
I will say, like, that I do agree with. Also, to another thing in this episode before we move on, like, another thing in this episode that really kind of, like, that I wanted to touch on, too, is, like, that clip show that they pulled. First of all, y'all, I'm sorry, but why the hell they included the Lord Zedd's evil Dark Rangers?
Why?
And then Solon talking about
nothing.
They ain't did a damn thing. And Solon talking about he created his own version of evil Rangers. And you seen these mugs come out in these Zentai bodysuits, and it's like, no, baby. No, don't show that. Like,
and not even just that though, but they look terrible.
They look awful.
That's still one of the biggest missed opportunities I think they ever did. That could have been really cool.
That could have been really freaking cool.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, no, this cannot be life. And I am so sorry, but as a young daughter, I'm not even gonna hold you. As a child, I was looking at them, the male Dark Rangers for obvious reasons,
right?
Because them suits was tight,
right?
And
not
you
even
saw everything.
Yo,
okay.
Hey, speaking of like,
yes.
Remember how we were talking about Halloween earlier? They're giving me that Halloween vibe, like Michael Myers vibe. The way the mask was like that, so creepy.
Super freaking creepy. I'm like, no, ma'am. Like, I remember sitting there looking at those suits, and I was like, ooh. The way I would pause on some of them, like, ooh, hey. Especially blue and purple. Well, it's supposed to be black, but blue and purple. Child. I was like, ooh, come on, boys. I see y'all. But anywho, So I was kind of like, okay, this is ridiculous. Why did y'all show these clips? And obviously they wanted to show clips that didn't really include too much ADR work. So because they had to basically redub it and all this stuff.
Wait, did you notice that when they showed Zordon, it was David Feldon?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
It wasn't?
No.
That sounded just like him.
Nope, it wasn't him.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't him. As a matter of fact, he got on Twitter and was like, he wished that they contacted him. But I mean, the gag is though, it was only one line. So I don't know, it's one line. So I mean, I highly doubt that they would have like been like, hey, can you come in and record this one line for us? Like, no, not when they can just literally just get a random person that they know and just be like, hey, can you do this real fast? And it's done. Instead of having to go through the whole rigmarole of like, hey, can I get in contact with you? And then we don't have the right number, or we don't have the right email, or whatever have you. Oh, can you get down here to go and record this for us? And then you got to work off his schedule. What if he's not available at that time? Maybe he's doing a con or whatever have you. When they can just go ahead and get somebody that they know who's right up the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, it really is what it is. And fans just really don't understand that when it comes down to like these dubbings and stuff. And granted, sometimes those dubbings are terrible. Sometimes they are awful because Andros don't sound like no 13-year-old girl. He really doesn't. But, like sometimes, like literally what it really is that they don't have the time to reach out to these people and have them record one line. Because if you notice, like literally in this situation, all he said was one thing. And that was it. Like, it's not like it was like a whole conversation and, you bringing this person back for a whole episode. That's not it. It's literally not the situation. Now, would it be nice to hear these people's voices again? Absolutely. Of course it would. But at the end of the day, like, that's not the situation that we're in. So you take what you can get. And that's why they try to include as much footage that did not require ADR dubbing. That's literally what it was. So that's why I'm like, I didn't care anything about it. My only issue was the Dark Rangers part. I was like, why are we doing this? Like, no, don't show us this. Like, don't show that. They could have easily showed us the part where they were like, oh, he almost killed the Pink Ranger. Yes, that is something evil. This mother was draining her life force. Huh?
Would they be allowed to show her?
I don't see why not. Why you think they wouldn't?
I'm thinking about the well, I guess they own the footage, so never mind.
They own the footage
and stuff.
No, they own the footage. Like,
she doesn't get residuals anyway, so it wouldn't matter.
Exactly. Like, it don't matter. Like, they can show her. The only thing is it's the dubbing. It's the dubbing of it. It's like, we don't want to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't want to have to redub all the scenes, which, I mean, literally, it's just her laying on a plank that is going around in circles. Like, literally. Like, they could have shown that, but they didn't. They decided to show us the Dark Rangers, but whatever. But yeah, so that was like my only gripe on this episode. But for the most part, like, it was just whatever. And then you had episode 15, 15, where you had Ollie being a dick, and I wanted to punch him in the face.
Dr. Akana.
Oh yeah. Definitely the return of Dr. Akana.
That was such a highlight. I missed her.
You better love yourself some Dr. Akana. I do like her too. She's great. And the way she was so happy, I loved it. She was like, "You guys would not believe what I saw."
Right.
And they're just like, "Yeah, we seen it. I bet it was great, huh? I bet it was wonderful." But yeah, I love that. I thought that was pretty cool. And also too.
Sorry,
go ahead.
Pause you a quick sec. It gave me very Zane vibe from In Space, like very much so. The whole like casket looking thing, and like I don't know how but obviously I know in the sense that like Zane melted, where this guy was like pulled from the ocean. I'm surprised that Mug didn't drown.
Well, he's an alien, so he might not have the same.
Well, if he's an alien, why didn't he get himself out of there sooner?
He was asleep, apparently. I'm assuming.
Yeah, that little stasis pod had his behind knocked out.
Got some nice sleep.
Remember, Zado was sleeping too.
Right, but Zado wasn't underwater sleeping.
But he was still sleeping from Ravcon sleeping, and you have another Ravconian sleeping.
Yeah, but this
is just underwater.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised that
he was in a pod, just like Zado was.
Right, but I'm surprised his pod didn't leak or anything, and like it didn't decay over the years, or it didn't do nothing. Like you have to remember, it's been years.
Yeah, more than years, like freaking centuries. But like it's it's alien technology, so they're more advanced than Earth technology.
I mean, I guess
the only part about this episode that I did not like was Ollie. Ollie he's a terrible person, and I would not want to be his friend.
He was annoying. He was terrible in both episodes.
In both episodes. Ollie episodes too.
And I'm like, why are you doing him? Like, why is he so bad? Like, he's a terrible person. He's terrible.
I'm surprised that Chan's character wasn't more upset. Like, I would be. I'm sorry.
I was pretty upset.
No,
not the way I wanted him to be. I wanted him to be like, what is your problem? You are almost costing my job. What are you doing?
Thank you. Like he wasn't like, he was just sort of like, oh, well, it's okay. Like it wasn't like he wasn't as upset as he should have been, like, I'm sorry.
I agree.
Like, if that was me, I would be pretty upset. Like the fact that you said that you're gonna help me, that you didn't show up, and then when you did finally show up, you casually was like, it's okay. I just bought new headphones. Like what? I don't give a fuck. I would break them. I would break them right then and there.
I would be like, look, ho, you giving me these headphones ain't doing nothing for me. Like, I don't care.
Oh my God, in that interview? Like, what the shit was that? You were supposed to make it up to me, and then now you're effing it up again. All because you're being selfish.
And and instead of him apologizing to Chance, to Javi, instead of him apologizing to him, what he does is he basically makes it like a roundabout thing, being like, oh, I need to pay more attention to my friends. No, apologize to me for almost making me lose my job.
Right.
How about that? That is the apology.
Exactly. He did not look him in the eye and said, you know what, listen, I've been a terror friend to you. I messed up. I was focusing on myself, like, admit the truth, but not all like, I should pay attention to my friends. Here are these headphones.
Right. No, I agree 100%.
No.
100.
I was so angry when I see that. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? No, I'm sorry.
I would not accept that apology. I'm like, where is my apology for you screwing up my interview and almost costing me my job? Where is that? Because that's what I want to hear.
And the other thing is, I want to bring up, did they all suddenly work at the magazine place, or what is it called?
Come on, Buzz Blast? No, it's just not Hunter. It's just Amelia and Javi. I want to call them by their real names. Amelia and Javi. But apparently these people are just hanging around there and they just keep being thrown into stuff. But
okay.
Which my thing is, Ollie asserted himself in the situation and then didn't even do the thing. It's like, first of all, I understand that your mom is the one who is doing all the things and she's probably telling you all the things too. But my thing is, nobody's going to want to hear from you. They want to hear from her because she's the one with all the credentials. Exactly. You are her son. Exactly. You are her son. You are nobody.
Nobody.
Like, let's just be for real. You're nobody.
And the fact that like he inserted himself in the situation, he couldn't even follow through with it. I was livid.
Okay.
Like, no, Ollie, I'm sorry, but it's a 0 for me. You need to reevaluate your position as a ranger, your position as a friend, your position as a person overall.
Okay.
Like, no.
Do you guys think that he'll start to reevaluate who he is this season, or they're going to wait until season 2?
Honestly, I think season 2. If they ever do.
Right. Because another thing that I'm thinking about is I'm sure we all thought that him and Amelia would be turning into, something. But they haven't even hinted towards that at all lately.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I don't, Like, Ollie is just, like, he is just, I'm not, Ollie just irritates me. I am not a fan of Ollie right now. Not a fan.
And me both. Like, the more I was watching, the more angry I was getting because I'm like, I don't understand.
Yeah, no.
Why are you so terrible?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I appreciate that it's creating drama and everybody isn't a perfect model human being.
I mean, yes, but also I would like for people to get called out for being assholes.
Good point. Yes. Mm-hmm.
I would love that. Like, I understand that, yes, nobody's perfect, but at the same time, it's like what actually builds like teamwork and what actually builds trust is actually letting the person know, hey, you're being a fuck person and you need to cut it out. Like, and then like if they choose to fix it, then they choose to fix it, and that creates a more deeper connection to the relationship. But however, if you just choose to just overlook it and ignore it, then yeah, like that's not doing anything but enabling them to be much more of a fuck person. It really is. And I feel like that's kind of exactly what's been happening with Ollie. It's like they just know him just to be the snarky asshole. And it's like, I don't want to be your friend if you're going to act like that. That's just me. Like, I wouldn't want to be his friend. I would never want to be Ollie's friend.
I agree with that. I would not want to be your friend. I'm sorry. That was just
no.
Yeah, you gotta why are they putting up with him?
Why exactly? Other than him being the tech guy. Well, I was saying he's just the tech guy, and they're just like, oh, well, we need him for tech. But other than that, I would not be his friend for anything other than like, and then I really wouldn't even want him for that. Like, he'd be one of them people who I would like, yeah, I'm gonna call you when we need you, but other than that, I don't want to be around you. Like, and I wouldn't be attracted to that either. Girl, Amelia, step your game up. If that's where they're going with this, girl, step your game up. No, honey. But yeah, let's go ahead and rate these. Let's go ahead and rate them. I already know mine for sure. So I'm going to go 3 for the Halloween episode with Lord Zedd, because I really did enjoy that. I thought that was cool. Like I said, the only parts I didn't like was Ollie.
Stop ruining the episode for us, Ollie. Stop.
Okay, like stop it. So I'm gonna go 3 for that, and then the second one, episode 15. Even though it was the introduction of the Gold Ranger, I couldn't even enjoy it that much. I couldn't even enjoy it. I mean, I loved all of the stuff with oh boy, Slither, turning into the little game show host thing. And, I love all of that. I love Ion's debut. I love Mom explaining the whole thing of like the whole iosphere, when all that, him ionizing the energy in the air, which create the storm. And I loved all of that. Loved all that shit. But it wasn't enough. I'm sorry. It's a 1. It's a 1. It's a 1.
Damn.
I'm sorry. I can't. When I tell you he pissed me off so much, it ruined the episode.
It did. It really did.
It ruined the entire episode. I'm like, I can't. And then they had no resolution to the situation. Just him just giving some hunky-dory excuse and an apology. No. No, I'm sorry. No, it's a 1. It's a 1.
So for me, it would pretty much be the same. It would be like, for me, okay, 4 for Lord Zedd and a 1 for the Golden Ranger one.
Wow. For me, for the Lord Zedd return, I gave it a 3, and I feel like Lord Zedd's return kind of boosted it up a point Because otherwise they didn't really do much in that episode for me. And then in the next one, I actually gave it a 4. I like the fact that I love when they do stuff with the characters. So I love that we got to follow Javi having a job assignment and things aren't going well because good old Ali isn't holding up his end of the bargain, and then he continued to not do that. And
good
then,
old in air quotes.
And then to see Dr. Akana back, who I've been wanting to see for ages, and she had another really nice showcase. I really enjoyed that. So yeah, for me that would be a 4. But and then we got our introduction to the Gold Ranger, which that was kind of weird because there was no type of hint towards that. It was just kind of random how that happened. I mean, I know that they talked about, something causing the storms, but who would have thought it would have been a ranger, a person? And then the fact that after he interacted with the Rangers and he said Zato's name and he just teleported away, where the hell is he going? And then Zado was all like, he was just shook. And then
shook like this mug was like, I owe him money. And he coming to collect.
Yeah, and then Dr. Akana, she introduced the other 4 Rangers to the pod that he was in, so I'm assuming they're going to kind of get some sort of they're going to further the story on their part before Zato explains what's going on. So that would be interesting. I wonder why he looked like that. That's interesting.
Well, we shall see. We shall see. And for all of our listeners out there, please let us know what you guys think. Let us know what you think of these episodes. Let us know, of all the topics that we're talking about tonight. Let us know what you think. We would love to hear it. And we are about to go ahead and head on out. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. My name is Brandon.
I am Lena.
And I'm Will.
And we will see you next time.
Bye.